Hello, my name is Ashley. I am from Nicaragua, which is part of Central and South America. My major is social entrepreneurship, and it's my second year at Lynn.
My name is Shosho. I'm from Ghana, and I'm a second year at Lynn and a social entrepreneurship major.
My name is Romanchika. I was born and raised in Nepal. Major is social entrepreneurship with a minor in fashion and retail.
My name is Nadia Volkova. I am originally from Russia, but I also grew up in the Caribbean. My major is social entrepreneurship, and I go to Lynn University.
Currently, I believe that in my community there may be some gender stereotypes, specifically coming from Latin America. That is because in Latin American culture, it's very common for people to think of women as not the source of income or just someone who would rather stay at home. Women are not seen as inferior than men, but they're seen with different responsibilities because they're seen as less capable. So in some sort of way, you may seem as an inferior because you need to stay home, you need to take care of the kids, you're born to be a mother.
So yes, in my community there are definitely so many gender stereotypes. It's pretty much how we grow up, and they have very much impacted who I have become, in the sense that I tend to give men and boys a lot more slack with regards to basic things like keeping a space clean or taking care of themselves. Really, I expect very little from men, and which also means that I take up a lot more responsibility whenever I am around men, because I don't expect them to do these things even if they know how to do them, because I was raised in a house where my brothers will always do half jobs and get away with it, and I will always redo the jobs and correct it and fix it. And so I think it just did impact who I have become as a person.
One of the typical gender stereotypes in my community is that in every house you can experience that. I mostly at almost 90% of this household in Nepal is that girls are always told that they need to be good at cooking and cleaning because they have to go to somebody else's house after they marry and do that there.
I grew up in a household with 4 kids. It's 3 girls and 1 boy, and we grew up with just my mom, and my mom taught us that, you know, the women of the household had to do the cooking and the cleaning, and they had to be responsible for the household chores the majority of the time. And my little brother, the only thing he had to do was throw out the trash because he's a man.
So I am aware of different stereotypes in my community, such as woman inequality, gender inequality. Women are supposed to cook all the time and be in the household, be with the kids, and men are the ones who work and bring the bread. It's actually true for both communities in Antigua and Russia.
This affected the way I grew up because sometimes I would see certain unfairness in my community, specifically not in my house because I was never treated that way, but I did see how students and friends of mine would react to certain situations, or how they would make jokes like, go make me a sandwich or stuff like that. That's just like, okay, I don't agree personally with that.
When I grew up and I realized how typical gender stereotyping this is, we really had conversations in my house, in my family, and not only me but even my brother was made to, you know, like do the household work and do the cooking and cleaning, not because I need to go to somebody else's house, but because it's a skill.
And it definitely affected me, how I see the world. However, I think I surrounded myself with great people that showed me another path, and it seriously made an impact on me, the environment I was in and the people I chose to surround myself.
Both yes and no. I would say yes first because it definitely opened my eyes to seeing a different world, you know, seeing the world from the eyes of my mother. That she really knew how to do was cook and clean. So I would understand when it's the only thing that you know how to do or you can do. I understand that way. But also no, because I just think that there is more to life than just cooking and cleaning for me. Even though it is something that I love to do, I think cleaning is very therapeutic. I think cooking is very therapeutic, and I love seeing the look on my family's faces when I make food for them. You know, I would love to see the look on my husband's face in the future after I make him a warm meal and we all come home from work and all tired and stuff. But I don't think that that's the only role that a man should have in the home. So even though I did grow up with, learning manners of respect and respecting my elders and respecting the men of the house that really do everything that they do to keep a roof over our heads, and warm food in our bellies, I really do give lots of respect to my mother as well, because her role wasn't little.
An advice that I would give is never fail to raise your voice when you feel like you're being attacked by gender stereotypes.
Growing in Latin America, I feel gender stereotypes are a bit more heavy. That's just because the influence your family has on you, the influence they place on you because of religion and so on. They expect women to be pure and perfect and to have certain behaviors. They can't sit that way. You can't do this. That's a man's job. But rather just focus on improving yourself and being who you are, being authentic to your true self. Because despite the fact that there are these objectives that society places on you and these limits, this is not how you're supposed to live your life. You are entitled to do whatever you want. That shouldn't be a matter of fact regarding on your gender. So just be authentic to yourself.
I think if you are in the same position, it is very important that you are conscious of these stereotypes and how much they affect you, right? I think it's important that you recognize them for what they are. You recognize them when they're happening, and you shield yourself, right? I think the hardest part of all of this is making sure that we don't transfer the same stereotypes into our personal lives, which unfortunately I'm doing in many ways than I even ever recognized. But that is just the reality, that is the truth of the matter, and it's in your best interest to really be intentional about the way that you move and you make decisions. Once you identify that you did grow up in a space that was very much riddled with gender biases and stereotypes.
So I would definitely recommend any other person out there who's thinking about gender inequality to surround their people with like-minded humans and to take action and definitely try to break through those stereotypes.
Any advice for anyone who feels stuck by gender stereotypes? I would say to remain confident in yourself and your gut feelings on how you believe you should live your life. I do believe that if your family is your support system, then, that's one thing, but you don't have to do everything that your family does. If anything, you could take it into consideration and see how it fits into your life now that you're your own person. And, stay confident in your choices and your gut feelings. And remember, always remember, that there's only room for one person in your couple. So, at the end of the day, it's about what you want.